Hey, I'm here with Rory Cutaia. He is the CEO of Verb Technologies, and the more I learn about Verb, the more exciting I am about my own TV show, which you're the star of, 2 Minute Drill, coming out Friday, 8:30 p.m. On Bloomberg Network, Bloomberg TV, and on Amazon Prime. But Roy, you are the big surprise for me is, as you produce TV shows, I've never done one by myself. And I cheated because I ended up not doing it by myself. You became an instant producer and just unbelievable talent. What talk me through, what you saw in the show just to start to put the trust that you had in me, and then what you learned while we actually performed. We just finished filming 12 episodes, and it was one of the best experiences of my life.
Well, let's start with Dave Meltzer, the man, the legend. Look, I obviously didn't know anything about the TV show when we first met, and I had the privilege of being a guest on your podcast, which I enjoyed, and that I think was the first time you and I really had some one-on-one, and notwithstanding the fact that it was a public broadcast, it just felt like a couple of guys, who've been around the block a few times, sharing stories, sharing experiences, and talking about the world we live in, and how maybe we could make a difference and make it better. So starting from that point, whatever you were going to do after that, I would have been, very happy to be a part of. So, and
vice versa. I always say, just so you guys know, he had one line, and we were just talking about future ventures, whatever. He just said, I don't care, not even interested in the details of the show. It was like, oh, you're doing it. We're going to help people. I trust you. We're going to help people. It was all about everybody else. And that's when I said, here's someone that's unconditional about what they want to do with purpose. And we'll figure it out as we go. Because you knew it was the first season. Of course. I'm not Mark, right. Ruck or whoever.
Right. But you just reminded me of something when we had some follow-on communications after by email, and you signed your email unconditionally. I mean, that was it. You know what I mean? Right. I had to explain to my wife, look, there's this guy, I really like him. But I'll tell you, I did come into it with some fairly high expectations, because I knew you're not going to associate yourself with something that's not going to be first class. But I did not expect that it was going to be really, really the quality that it clearly was. And I really can't wait for the audience to see this show, because I think that the market wants this. There's a market for shows like some of the other business shows that are out there where you have entrepreneurs come on and pitch what they're trying to do. But the market for that is gigantic. What we do here, and because of you and your background, what you bring to it is real, honest, down to earth, executable takeaways for a business person. And you don't get that from the other shows, because they're trying to negotiate with you, which is real or not. This is the real thing, with real advice, sage advice. And I think that people are going to eat this up. I really do.
And speaking of real, one of the things that stood out to me, and what my concern was, because we didn't know each other that well, and you never know, it was your, I think, first TV show that you're doing on a national network.
Oh, yeah.
But the coolest thing was the only manufactured part was like the trailer or the intro, the reads. But what I thought was powerful about the show is once we started in on the pitch, and no other show that I've done has ever been able to do this, it just ran through.
Yeah.
It literally, the advice wasn't manufactured. I will tell you, on Elevator Pitch, which I executive produce, like any other reality show, like it's produced. Especially when you're talking about funding. How can you decide in 2 minutes to fund a company? That's why I wanted to stick to the pitch and get someone like you that, has some bumps and bruises, but has shown through with experience all types of business models, how they integrate, aggregate, and understands the person. Because I think a lot of the comments are teaching people what people need to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Regardless of the product, yes. Right? It's 50-50. We delve into business models and funding and talking about how to help them. But a lot of it's just that personal development of an entrepreneur And I don't think any show really delves as deep as we did and allowed ourselves to use the situational knowledge. But I agree. Even I came in, I looked at the set and I was on it, and then I kept trying to be humble and be like, Clarity Experiences is a production company and they're extraordinary. But what made me feel really good is you kept going, this has legs. This is amazing.
Yes.
And I was like, well, this is a totally well, I would say even a skeptical opinion, because, you know, you took a lot of your time. Talk about investment, you know, to be in the show, to take a CEO of a public company. And, you know, I know we're married now because of the amount of time we spent together. I'm having withdrawals.
It's common law in the state of California.
Exactly. But, you know, but going from there, your perspective of being on a show, what were some of the other things that you learned from being on the show?
Well, look, I've already spoken about the sage advice. I think that's a great way to refer to it. That will be fantastic for business people and entrepreneurs to learn. But the other side of it, and this I truly did not expect, is listening to the pitches, understanding the people that were making the pitches, and to see how incredibly inspiring they were, not just to other business people, which of course it was amazing, but to anybody. These people were really inspirational in the things that they've experienced in their life and how they responded to it. And for me, that was completely unexpected and probably one of the most moving things about the entire experience that, you know, for me.
Were you surprised? One of the things I was so proud of, I'm the Chief Chancellor of Junior Achievement University, Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy, all the legends that we learned from, you know, you and I, and it was a great honor. But my favorite thing about Junior Achievement was when I was a Junior Achievement 10-year-old, there was no girls in my program. And now there's 50% of the 100 million alumni, right? 50% of the people in the program are over now are women. Were you surprised of the diversity? I mean, I talk about a melting pot show, and everybody stood their own. It wasn't like, oh, we put this person on because they're of this race, color, size, creed, or whatever. Because, you know, maybe I'm biased, but I thought the women outperformed the men just in general on a 50-50. And then there was every single culture, race from around the world. And it was so cool that the common denominator was entrepreneurship.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
And were you surprised to see such dynamic diversity?
You know, in a way I was, and in a way I wasn't. And let me clarify. I wasn't, because I know that you've got entrepreneurs across every conceivable demographic, every ethnicity, every culture, every religion. They're out there. What I was really surprised, maybe surprised is too strong a word, very happy to see, is that they were part of the show, and that they had an opportunity to be seen and heard, I thought that was great. You know, yeah.
In the virtual
really
aspect, you know, we have a live show, and we had live judges, but all the contestants were virtual around the world. And which also, by the way, we had one of my favorite moments of the show is they came in to, you know, coach me and say, look, just so you know, one of the contestants, which they win over $50,000 of cash and prizes, is disabled. So don't ask him to stand up and show you anything, you know, just so that because we do run through, there's no production cuts. And like, yes, this is real advice
for people to know.
And I started smiling, and they're like, what's so funny? I said, I am so happy that this is accessible. It's like esports. Everybody can play on 2-minute drill. This game, everybody can play. You don't have to have legs. You don't have to have arms.
Yeah.
You know, I bet you don't even have to have a mouth with the technology out there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Literally, everyone can play our game.
I loved that. I really, that resonated with me in a big way. And you just touched on something. I want to just emphasize that
Please.
to people, that this was not produced. This was not scripted. So, and in the 12 episodes, 70 some odd, 72 contestants. Once we started rolling, we never cut. There were no, you know, multiple takes on anything. What you see on the screen, that's what happened, just the way it was. It was absolutely authentic.
No
absolutely
going
real.
back and you look surprised.
Yes, exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought that that authenticity of the show is something that I think is going to resonate with the audience.
For sure. And I think the excitement of how much it means, the advice, we were very straightforward. There's a lot of drama because you're a very honest person. And, no matter what, this is sometimes people are in love with their product. There's a lot of ego involved, but we were very honest, constructively honest with people to make sure that, it isn't just, hey, you're doing great. We were very positive for what they did well, but we also leveraged to help them our ideas and suggestions of where maybe they were a little bit short. Was it difficult for you to be, because you're an amazing judge and you were so straightforward and honest, was it difficult, because I know from behind the scenes how much you care about all of these people, but when somebody blows it, I remember one of the people completely choked and you just kind of diplomatically said, gave him advice. Was that difficult when, you have to give the constructive side of things?
Well, look, when we first knew we were going to go forward and do this, and I shared it with some people close to me, the comments I got back from people with questions were like, so what kind of judge are you going to be? Are you
Simon
going to be,
Cowell, right?
Are you going to be the mean one? Are you going to be the nice one? What are you going to be? And I said, look, I'm just going to be me. And, I'm going to react the way I feel. And I come into it with an appreciation for what it takes to do what they're doing, obviously, right? So unlike in other kinds of, programs, you have a judge who has not walked in the shoes of the contestant. You have no idea what it's like, what they do. But you and I have. So I come into it with, look, I know what you're doing right now. I know how difficult this is to do, but you've got the chance of a lifetime right here. And if you're going to leave 30 seconds on the clock, I'm sorry, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear about that because, right? And
or you'll throw it off on Dave because he's going to tell you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there was
martini line. That's
I could tell when I'm seeing someone, wrapping it up and there's still 30 seconds. I glanced over at you. I could see that steam's coming out of your ears. I said, okay, I'm not going to touch on that. I'm going to leave that for Dave because I know how he feels about that. So I just wanted to make sure that I was being genuine because the show deserves that. The show is that. As I said before, it's very authentic. And I felt that keeping it real is what the contestants deserve. And that's what they need. And this is not just about the individual contestants in that moment. It's for every other potential contestant, every person who wants to be an entrepreneur and succeed. It's for them as well, for them to learn what works and what doesn't work, and also not give up.
And what do you think the most common mistake that you see, after seeing 72 pitches, what is the biggest mistake that's common that people can work on?
I think if there was a common theme among those that didn't go well, it was the failure to prepare. All you need to do is just record yourself, video record yourself, or just look in the mirror if you don't have any ability to do that. But just record yourself, doing it, and then watch it. Because if some of those contestants that obviously didn't do that, if they had done that, their pitch would have been wildly different, probably substantially better. So the fact that some of them didn't even think to do that was surprising to me. And but I can guarantee you after that and what people will see, people are going to know how to go into a pitch.
One of the other reasons I wanted you to be involved in the judging is that your company, Verb Technologies, really can enhance the show. And I know you and I are working diligently to see season 2 and maybe some trailers, some other things that we can integrate what Verb does. After doing the show, where do you see Verb playing in your great technology in this space with what you do with this show or with the digital streaming side or live? How do you see Verb working with the 2-minute drill?
Well, thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about Verb a bit. But look, as you and I have discussed, we see a convergence of entertainment and e-commerce happening right now. We intend to lead it be in front of it. We think it's going to be a massive paradigm shift. I think everyone's going to benefit from it. And we have some initiatives happening right now that at the appropriate time we will reveal to the marketplace. As a NASDAQ listed company, we have to make sure we don't have selective disclosures. Those rules, where we have to play by the rules. But for the things that we're already doing, the release of Verb Live now, where we could place either into a live broadcast or even in a pre-recorded broadcast, the ability for viewers to click right on their screen and buy a product or request additional information or download, whether it's a brochure or white paper or tickets. Those kinds of things, I think, will be an enormous enhancement. If you just think about the capability of adding a pledge now button or donate now button to an entrepreneur presenting their new product on Kickstarter. Imagine just being able to eliminate the friction from that process and allow people to click right on the screen as and when their interest levels peak. That's I was going to say it's the future, but it's now. It's
Nice.
what we're doing now. It's what the market needs, the market wants. I think more and more people are becoming conditioned for that based upon what's happening around us. And so, yeah, I think it could be an enormous enhancement to what we're already doing here. Not that I think this show needs any enhancements. I think this show is blockbuster. But yeah, thank you for letting me mention that.
But I think it's true of the other judges too, because we do have 3 judges. We alternate in the other, whether it be one of the co-founders of Uber or one of the co-founders of LinkedIn or one of the founders in the solar industry. It can be used for HR. All of them that were drooling when they learned, like I was, about Verb itself, so which is really cool. Which, by the way, I was hoping that we could take this interview and we could integrate it so I could buy your jacket. That is a super cool jacket.
Well, I feel I should give you the jacket now because I got.
I feel like I should have given you like a motorcycle, but I gave you a skateboard. Can you show everybody your skateboard?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Sweet.
Where would I to the okay.
This camera, that camera. Oh,
So,
there you go.
First of all, let me say this. After New Year's, if you don't see me, it's because my skills on this weren't as good as they used to be. But yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to jump on it right now, and at the same time, I want to mount it on the wall of my office. It's so unbelievable.
From now on, I'm going to give 2 of them to people. One for mount. They do that for the Heisman Trophy.
Yes.
Hall of Fame bus. They give 2.
Yeah.
You get one for your home and then
perfect.
one for Canton.
That's perfect.
That's
it.
it.
I know what will happen. I know that Denise will tear it off the wall and she'll be on it.
That's right.
This is.
Well, that'll be an original because season 2 will say season 2 on it, and we'll get you there. And now that we're going steady, I know you'll be there. My wife is jealous listening to this. Anyway, I am so excited about, on many different levels, your participation in 2 Minute Drill, but more importantly, as a business, I have probably the most exposure to the most businesses of more people, and I have never been more excited than I am about the opportunities that exist with Verb and how it integrates, converges into all aspects of commerce. And I think it'll change the face of media and commerce.
Thank you.
Then they'll really love the show because everyone, as much as they know the co-founders of Uber and LinkedIn, next season will be like, oh my God, they got the CEO of Verb. This is incredible. Anyway, I just want to say thank you. And what a great honor and privilege, and most importantly for me, experience. So what a joy. Come see Friday nights, 8:30 on Bloomberg and Amazon Prime TV video, the 2 Minute Drill. Catch us now, or as they say in one of my roles, what is it? We'll be right back with 2 Minute Drill. We'll get sick of that like Big Brother. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Right on.